This is the tri-state area's news leader, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. With Sarah Wallace, Mark Stevens with sports, Veronica Johnson with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Sarah Wallace. It is the largest celebration of gay pride in the city's history, marking the 25th anniversary of a battle between police and gays at the Stonewall Bar, a battle many consider a turning point in the gay rights movement. A mile-long rainbow flag, also symbolizing the battle for a cure for AIDS, was carried through the streets of Manhattan today. Mayor Giuliani joined the march of hundreds of thousands of people on the east side. Another smaller march, not licensed by the city, took place along Fifth Avenue. Both parades are now winding up with a celebration in Central Park. Our coverage begins with NJ Burkett.
Kick it off, Stonewall 25!
It began with lesbians on motorcycles and a huge flag carried past the United Nations, a mile-long nylon rainbow so extensive it took nearly an hour to pass. Thousands of police officers lined the parade route amid predictions that would make this the largest public event here in more than a decade.
The march was billed as the largest civil rights protest in American history. Tens of thousands of people came to Manhattan from around the world to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Riots, what has become known now as the beginning of America's gay rights movement.
Jim Clifford joined the movement shortly after Stonewall.
Things have changed quite a bit in 25 years, but we have a long way to go to change people's attitudes.
Justice! Justice! Justice!
The march was more serious than festive. There were more activists than drag queens.
Shame! Shame!
This was the scene when marchers passed a handful of religious fundamentalists.
Shame! Shame!
We're not asking for special rights. We're asking for the same rights of equal employment, equal housing that all other Americans except gay people enjoy.
The city's Republican mayor marched with other politicians near the front of the parade. Amid a mix of applause and catcalls, it was clear he expected worse.
I thought actually the reception was quite warm.
Through it all, there were no reports of problems, not even when a smaller alternative demonstration that included extremist gay groups filled Fifth Avenue outside St. Patrick's Cathedral. Marchers say the message is simply to have the courage to be who you are. But the fact that it still takes courage to be gay in America is what this march is all about. In Manhattan, NJ Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
The parades made this a gridlock alert day in the city, and it was definitely slow going throughout Midtown. There were sporadic closings of many streets as the parades headed for Central Park. Thousands of police officers were called in for extra duty to deal with what is being described as one of the largest gatherings in a decade in the city. Well, that gathering is still going full blast in Central Park for a celebration of pride. Marianne Wright has been talking with some of the participants to get their personal reflections on this historic anniversary. She is live right now. Marianne?
Hi, Sarah. The outpouring of gay pride is overwhelming here at Central Park. The march ended here at about 1 o'clock and the rally began. So they've been rallying for about 5 hours now. And as you can see, the rally is going on strong. They came from all over. Hundreds of thousands of people of different sexual orientations came here today to support the gay liberation movement, marking the 25th anniversary of Stonewall. Laura Loomis came here from San Francisco.
For the fellowship, for just the affirmation of being around so many wonderful people.
A lot of the people here today, like David Daniels, were too young or not even born when gays rioted at Stonewall 25 years ago, but their gay pride is just as strong.
I think we need the visibility, and I'm thankful that everybody was able to make it. It's about time.
These people were at Stonewall the night that triggered the riots.
I can't believe that all of this and all these young people in the United States, in the rest of America, throughout the entire world, the gay games, I never thought that all of this would happen from a Stonewall.
I am proud. I'm proud to be a veteran of the Stonewall. I'm proud to see how much the gay people have accomplished.
A lot of entertainers also came to show their support, including Harvey Fierstein, who has always been open about his homosexuality. Fierstein says he's not surprised by this outpouring of gay pride.
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, we'll have 1 million people here today, and it's wonderful, but it'll be bigger next year and bigger the year after.
I'm very proud of being here today and very proud to be a part of the gay movement and to tell the world that we are here.
There are a lot of entertainers here. Gregory Hines, Liza Minnelli, and we are told that Madonna is scheduled to speak any minute. The rally lasts until 7 o'clock. We are live at Central Park. Marianne Wright, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
The marches conclude a week of gay pride activities, including the Gay Games. Estimates of today's crowd varies. Organizers saying more than 1 million people were in the parades and in Central Park. City Hall says the crowd is more like 100 to 150,000 people. A breaking story in now, a sidewalk tragedy in Manhattan late today. As many as 8 people injured in an accident that sent several cars onto a sidewalk filled with people. Police remain on the scene of that accident on the Upper West Side. One of the victims was sitting on a bench by a pizza parlor.
A taxi cab careened off into 3 parked vehicles. 2 of those vehicles mounted the sidewalk and injured 8 civilians.
Police are now investigating what caused that accident. In New Jersey, a spectacular fire sent flames towering into the night sky, injuring 6 people before it was brought under control. The blazing light from the inferno at a condominium in North Bergen could be seen from as far away as Manhattan. Authorities say the building was abandoned, but squatters were inside at the time of the fire. The cause is under investigation. Hot, dry weather continues to fan massive wildfires in Southern California. 9 homes and thousands of acres of brushland have been destroyed in Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Orange counties. Basking in their latest victory, getting a grand jury dismissed in the OJ Simpson case, defense attorneys continue on the heavy offensive this weekend. The latest verbal assault accuses the prosecution of using the media to frame the former football star. ABC's Bob Schmidt is in Los Angeles.
OJ Simpson didn't spend his Sunday alone as he remains under suicide watch in this Los Angeles jail. He got another visit from pro football great turned clergyman Rosie Greer. The defense and prosecution continue to prepare for this week's preliminary hearing to decide whether Simpson will stand trial for the murders of his ex-wife Nicole and her friend Ronald Goldman. An anonymous member of the grand jury no longer hearing the case is quoted as saying police photos of the bloody crime scene were so disturbing he couldn't eat his dinner. There are those who say extensive coverage of the murders could work in O.J. Simpson's favor.
The most highly publicized trials in American history, in recent American history, people who seem to get the most negative publicity before the trial, by and large, more often than not, don't end up getting convicted.
And the former top prosecutor in Los Angeles says if Simpson does go on trial, it'll be hard for the prosecution to overcome his celebrity status in winning a conviction.
They're going to have to come to grips with the idea that this is going to be a jury that in substantial part is going to be sympathetic to O.J. Simpson and will be receptive to the defense that's going to be offered.
While the families of the 2 victims remain in seclusion, public support for the accused killer surfaced at this Baptist church, where prayers were offered for O.J. Simpson.
If they don't need to go down to the courtroom, you will fix it.
Bob Schmidt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The Simpson case has some local public figures challenging the men of corporate America to break their silence about domestic violence. Today at LaGuardia Airport, Representative Thomas Manton and other activists blasted companies for using Simpson as a sponsor after he pleaded no contest to beating his wife in 1989. Manton says corporate leaders can't let this happen anymore.
And those who will not speak out, we will organize, if necessary, to boycott their products, to set up picket lines around the country.
The demonstration was held outside a Hertz car rental facility, one of the corporations which has sponsored Simpson in the past. The Simpson case has sparked concern about domestic violence across the country. Here in New York, Mayor Giuliani says it has caused people to flood a new city-run hotline, generating a 27% increase in calls. That hotline provides safe havens for victims to deal with domestic violence. And if you feel the need to call, here is the number, 1-800-621-HOPE. When we come back tonight, a problem at sea that has been 10 years in the making, and now rescuers are fighting to save wildlife from a massive disaster. Investigating the massacre at Hebron, today Israel makes its final ruling. And later on in sports, the game that could guarantee the U.S. moves on in the World Cup. Highlights when we come back. An 11-year-old tanker accident tonight is haunting the South African coast with deadly results, coating beaches and wildlife with thick black oil. The oil is washing up on the country's Atlantic coast, killing hundreds of penguins. The spill is believed to be from the sunken wreck of a Spanish tanker, with oil only now leaking from the submerged vessel. Northern California avoided disaster early this morning, but got a pretty good jolt from an earthquake. That quake rocked the San Francisco Bay Area, shaking many sleeping residents awake. It registered 4.2 on the Richter scale and caused minor damage, but no injuries. But in Cincinnati, tragedy as an elevator full of senior citizens plunged a terrifying 4 floors to a basement. 1 person died and 8 others were injured. It happened last night in an apartment building where the seniors went to play cards. Screams and a crash were heard just after the elevator doors closed. No word yet on why it fell. In Israel, officials say they do have an answer to the key question in the Hebron Mosque massacre. Their final conclusion, that Brooklyn-born Israeli settler Baruch Goldstein acted alone when he shot and killed 30 Palestinians. The panel said there is no evidence that Goldstein was assisted by Israeli police. And although it recommended that Israelis should be barred from carrying weapons at the shrine, Palestinians still criticize the report.
The reasons for the massacre are still there. I think settlers and settlements will continue to be the time bombs that may explode in our faces at any moment.
The panel also recommended a clarification of the Israeli army's open fire policy, which bars soldiers from firing on Jews. The United Nations is marking its 50th anniversary today. The year was 1944 and the Second World War was coming to an end. World leaders felt there had to be another way to solve problems other than going to war. So out of the failed shell of the League of Nations, they formed the United Nations, 50 years old today. When we come back tonight, sports and a key day in World Cup play for the U.S. Also, the Yanks try to win where few teams have this year. Highlights coming up. Plus, the matchup of 2 boxing greats battling a little past their prime. David Ushery in tonight in sports. Too bad the U.S. was hoping for a sure bet, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people pulling for him, you know. In World Cup action, the United States are looking to advance to the second round for the first time since 1930. All they would need is a win or a tie to ensure advancing. They took on Romania in the Rose Bowl. The camera portion of the game tells us that it is hot on the field. Now moving to the snack food portion of the game, it was Romania that was out hot, scoring in the 17th minute.
Goal! The score by Dan Petrescu. Goal!
Just a little comparison for you. You make the call. Which call you like better? Thomas Dooley with the best effort of the second half as the header goes just wide of the open net. USA loses 1-0, but still have a chance to qualify for the second round as a wild card. At Stanford Stadium, this Columbia fan looking to flee the country any way he can after the loss to America. Columbia uses its head to take the lead against the Swiss. Herman Gaviria puts Columbia up for good as they get their first win of the World Cup, 2-0. In Chicago, the Greek fans were trying to drum up their first ever World Cup win, but an early penalty kick by Christos Stoichkov put rival Bulgaria up 1-0. Get out your Xerox. It's Stoichkov on the penalty kick again. Bulgaria breaks the longest winless streak in Cup history at 17 games with the 4-0 win. The Yankees, fresh off breaking the Indians' 18 home game winning streak, look to make it 2 in a row today at Jacobs Field. Carlos Baerga just knew it wouldn't be the Indians' day. In the top of the third, Jim Leyritz confirmed Baerga's worst fears. He homered for the second time in 2 days for the Yankees, putting the Bombers up for good 3-2. Mike Hargrove decided he didn't want to see any more of this game, and he got an all-expenses-paid trip to the showers, courtesy of the umpire. Everything was going the Yankees' way. In the top of the 5th, Bernie Williams with the excuse-me swing. He collects 2 RBIs on the throwing error, scoring Stanley and O'Neill. The Yanks build a 12-4 lead, and they needed every bit of it as they win 12-11. This fan wanted to pass along an invitation to their native son, George Steinbrenner, to move his Yankees to Cleveland if he has trouble finding a home in the New York area. Now, taking a look at the scoreboard, Kansas City losing to Minnesota 11-4. Texas tied with California in the 7th. Looking at Boston, they're going down to Milwaukee. Milwaukee winning 5-4, and Detroit losing to Oakland right now in the 7th. The Mets were looking to avoid getting swept by the Pirates at Shea this afternoon with the way the Mets are playing. Do you think it's a good idea to let these kids into the ballpark? In the first inning, Fernando Viñas shows these kids how not to play a fly ball. Ooh, look at that. Top of the second, Al Martin puts the Pirates up for good with this solo shot. 1-0, Pittsburgh. In the top of the 5th, Al Martin decides that he wants to test the Mets fielding by keeping this ball in the park. Jeff Kent boots it. Pirates lead 5-0, and the Mets may be bringing in a whole new team as the Pirates go on to win by 7-3. Now, let's take a look at the National League scores. San Francisco over Colorado 8-1. Florida beating Montreal 6-1. Los Angeles over Houston 5-4. San Diego is losing to Cincinnati 9-4. And Philadelphia beating Atlanta 9-8. St. Louis winning over Chicago 3-1. In golf, it's Dave Stockton Day. Dave Stockton Sr. looks to win the Seniors Players Championship, and his boy Dave Stockton Jr. looks to win the Greater Hartford Open. This would be the first time in golf history that a father and son won PGA tournaments on the same weekend. We take you to the rainy TPC in Dearborn, Michigan. Dave Stockton Sr. keeps up his end of the bargain here on the 13th hole. Stockton sinks this long birdie putt. He wins the Seniors Players Championship by 6 strokes. Now let's see how his son is doing in Hartford. At the Greater Hartford Open, Junior was all wet. He's in the trouble on the 13th hole, and it didn't get any better for him as he goes from the frying pan to the fire. He finished 3 strokes back. On the other hand, things couldn't get much better for David Frost, who pulled away. He drops this birdie putt on the 14th and ruins the Stockton's double play dream. The senior boxing circuit made a stop in Las Vegas last night as 43-year-old Roberto Duran took on 31-year-old Vinny Pazienza. The former legend Duran looked good considering his professional boxing career began in 1967. Vinny Pazienza entered the ring looking more like a pro wrestler than a boxer with stripes painted on his face and a headband. Pazienza went down in the 2nd round, but it was called a push. But this was no push in the 5th round. Duran again puts Pazienza down. Pazienza dominated the late rounds and took the unanimous decision to capture the IBC and IBO middleweight titles. Oh boy, those are 2 titles you can really cherish. Well, and that's going to do it for sports. I'm so excited about their wins. I'll keep going.
You wanted to read about the weather. That's okay. You can stay for that.
Okay, thanks. I like it.
Well, as David just said, we can cherish today's weather. And guess what? The AccuWeather forecast is next, and Veronica says we could be in for another nice day. And what a great day for a birthday party, even for a hairy creature. Happy birthday, Gorgeous. Gorgeous the gorilla, that is. She is the grand dame of the Salt Lake City Zoo. Now, Gorgeous turned 45 this weekend, and that makes her the oldest gorilla in captivity. To mark the occasion, a special carrot cake. We wish her all the best. Speaking of gorgeous, it certainly was a gorgeous day.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Well, I was too, that too.
That's right, today A+ day. Tomorrow's about a B-, C+. Let's take a look though and see what's happening right now. It's not too bad outside. 83 degrees with a relative humidity standing right around 48%. Still comfortable. The barometer, however, is falling because there's a storm system that's back to our west, and because of that, we've got a south wind now at 9 miles per hour. So what you'll notice over the next couple of hours probably is the humidity creeping up just a bit. Here's the specifics for you. We started the day at 68. We got as high as 89 degrees with those cloud-free skies, basically. But on the satellite, yeah, there's some clouds back to our west. Clear skies right here over the tri-state now, but notice the clouds back to our west, a little bit of those cumulus clouds that produce the showers and the thunderstorms. As a matter of fact, as I step to the side, we've got that storm system that is over the west, over the Ohio Valley. It moves our way by tomorrow. So the clouds roll back in and the humidity will increase too, something that we do not like to see because we're going to stay with those southerly winds until this system completely clears the area. On the national scene, clouds from, say, the Midwest all the way down toward the southeast. These clouds in the southeast with the storm system that rolled through yesterday. Here's the system that gets to our area by tomorrow late and holds with rain until Tuesday morning. High pressure behind it. And yet another system in Montana. This is the one that brings us rain Wednesday into Thursday morning. And it's even caused a severe thunderstorm watch to be issued for this area now. More thunderstorm watches where it is raining really heavy, anywhere from, say, Bowling Green over up toward Indianapolis, Indiana, and right through Nashville over into South Carolina and Georgia. With the storm system, sometimes it's necessary to talk about the jet stream. What's happening in the upper atmosphere? Well, the jet stream is nothing more than the conveyor belt that rolls our systems along. Over Montana, over the Ohio Valley, that's where the storm systems are flowing and will continue for a couple of days. The pattern is not going to change much. The other thing that we get with the jet stream is real warm temperatures. Anytime the jet stream is to the north of our area, and here's all the heat, folks, in the south central part of the country and the southwest. And this is yet the 14th consecutive day of 90-degree temperatures for the nation's capital. For our neck of the woods tomorrow, anywhere between 85 and 90 degrees. Anywhere through central New Jersey, again, that's the best chance of hitting 90 tomorrow. Here's the storm system tomorrow. You'll notice the humidity creeping back and it gets awfully wet by the afternoon with the showers and the potential for thunderstorms rolling in. Here's the system for later in the week. That's Wednesday into Thursday morning. Here's the one for Tuesday morning and Wednesday night. Tonight, 70 degrees, mainly clear and comfortable. Then we roll it up to 86 degrees, partly cloudy and becoming more humid. Tomorrow night, temperatures don't fall off too much, 72 degrees, and it will definitely feel muggy. AccuWeather says hold on to the umbrellas because we're going to stay pretty wet, but at least temperatures don't change too much. We're not going to be, really oppressive with, say, the century degree temperatures.
A little break there, but it's an umbrella week.
Yes.
Thanks, Veronica. Well, that's our news for right now. For Veronica Johnson, David Ushery, and the entire Eyewitness News team, I'm Sarah Wallace. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. Bye-bye.